Right, we are all set. All right, I do want to acknowledge on the record that unbeknownst to us, the go-to meeting account that is assigned to the Shelby County Lead Prevention and Sustainability Commission for some reason is disabled. We did not receive notification prior to that there were any errors or any type of modifications to the account. So we will do our due diligence to follow up with Shelby County's IT team to ensure that that's reinstated so that we don't incur these types of issues and challenges for members of the general public who are trying to be diligent in their civic duty with attending our meetings. All right, with that said, we can go ahead and proceed with tonight's meeting, March the 19th, 2025. I call the Shelby County Lead Prevention and Sustainability Commission meeting to order at 6:29 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, let's go ahead and get the agenda up and going. All right, so let's first begin with roll call. All right, so I'll begin. Latricia Adams, Chair, present. Treasurer Matthew Wood. Um, oh, I can't call you secretary yet because we still need to vote. Member Sharon Hyde. Okay. All right, so we have three LPC members who are present. We have two LPC members who are not present, who have not provided any notice that they would not be in attendance this evening, so they may or may not join. We do, however, have quorum, so we are able to move forward with any items requiring a vote on the agenda. We'll move into the second agenda item for this evening, which is public comment. We did not receive any public comment in writing prior to tonight's meeting. However, we do have one public comment tonight in person with Mr. Chet Kibble. Mr. Kibble, you can proceed.
What I was coming to talk about, I was listening to some of the things they were using to determine about the takeover of the school system. And some of the things they were using as far as categories, the number of children that's failing, the poor scores, et cetera, et cetera. And so what that made me think about was, I don't think the school system and everybody is really giving thought to how much we've been affected by legal. And what I did is I have the 2015 to 2021 records from the health department. And during that particular period, it showed that 93.9% of the children they tested had lead in their body. If you're using 3 as the test for lead, over 38% were lead poison. Well known to be close to 40% because you had at 6.9 at 6 to 19 micrograms, it were over 1,100. You had 20 to 40 that had 60 kids that were 20 to 40 micrograms. But from 3 to 5, you had 37,654. With that being said, that means those kids would be anywhere between, if you went to between 11 to 15 years old, or it could be anywhere from 5 to 9 years old. And so when we talk about what's going on in our school system, and our records from the health department show that even the other years are even worse than this. If you go back to 2014, 2013, et cetera, et cetera. So the bottom line is if you're using those things to determine whether our school system is good or not, I don't think it's fair if you don't take into consideration the number of lead poison kids we have in our facilities. Also, I was wondering, is there a way that we can get a list of percentages from the children that meet those low criteria, what zip codes they live in? Because in the categories that we show here, the health department tested at 304, 306. The most they tested was in 306, it was 4,000, 327, it was 6,000, 328, it was 5,000. But in those areas, and that's been that way all the way through, all the way back to 1997, those communities have been affected drastically. So I think that's something that needs to be used to talk about. We've been evaluated unfairly. For them to say our school system is not good, you're not taking into consideration what our teachers are dealing with. So that's what I really wanted to come and share today. And hope I can get some support because I tried to get to the school board to share with them. Once I told them I'm not the enemy, I want to share something with you. When they first came up and the kids got tested and everybody went in shock. And I was saying, a lot of the kids came to the school that way. And I asked for a meeting where I could talk and kind of debate, and they never did that. So maybe it's, with your help, we can arrange where we can have a meeting. I'm also trying to put together a little 10-minute, because I know the county will let you do a 10-minute presentation. I'm working with the Keaton to do a 10-minute film on facts. I call it for grown people. Somebody told me to use the right word, mature audiences. So I plan to have it to where, because I think it's difficult for leadership or different people to make the right decision if they don't really understand what we're dealing with. And so that's what I think is the big thing, is that most people don't understand chronic poison. So I don't want to take up too much more of the meeting. I appreciate y'all letting me come and share that with you, but I'm working on those facts. And I'm waiting for the health department to give me the rest of the records I have for the records for the rest of the year, because right now we only go up to 2022. And I would like to have them all the way, no, 2021. And I would like to have them all the way up to the present time.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for sharing that. With the records that you requested, did you have to do a public records request, or you reach, okay?
Yeah.
And they only gave you said up until 2021?
Well, when I did the public records request, that's what it took a while for them to give it to me.
Mhm.
That's what I was asking for. Now I put in a request for
Oh,
from 22 up to 24.
okay.
And they say that they are pretty far behind as far as being able to do that. They shortened it, because it took a couple of years to get the, I'm serious, because I had to ask EPA if they would remind them what I've asked it about, because she met with one of the top people at the health department, and she was saying, well, Chad, let me call him, let me call them. So with that help, we was able to get it, but they were shorthanded, is the reason they said it took so long. So
Have you considered potentially reaching out to the state to request the data?
that may be the route now, because the EPA is gonna be limited,
Mm.
under our new president. So,
Mhm.
I think that probably would be now I'm gonna try one more time with the health department. I'm giving them a chance. They say they're working on it, so
Okay.
we'll see how that goes. All right.
Um,
Well, I appreciate you.
sure.
You out of here?
Well, thank you. Thank you, Chad.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's the original. I don't really like.
no, you can make a copy.
Okay. Thank you. Just on the record, we also received some handouts from our public commenter, Mr. Chet Kibble. Thank you, Mr. Kibble. So, I mean, what we can do is we can follow up per our regular procedure with the health department and inquire like what is the status of this request, and if they are indeed shorthanded, would it be the better avenue would be to just request it from the state. Um, I'm not sure why that's difficult to go that far. That's not that far back. I'm very concerned about that, so I'll be sure to follow up with the health department. Unfortunately, we don't have a representative here tonight that we can get to answer that in the moment, so I'll follow up in writing. All right. Moving to the next agenda item is approval of the minutes. We also didn't have an opportunity to approve the minutes from the December meeting because in the January meeting, we didn't have quorum. I'm not sure how we can address that. Yeah, I guess it's just past tense. We acknowledged it on the record, but we couldn't vote on it. But we can do, since we have quorum, we can vote to approve the minutes from the January 23rd. And I need to make a correction. This is the 24th on the agenda. It should actually say January 23rd of 2025. So I'll make sure that that's revised, going into, sorry, go.
I was gonna move to approve.
Okay, move to approve the minutes. Okay. All right, that was quick and easy. All right, so the minutes from January 23rd, 2025 are approved. All right, we can go into old business. All right, update on the 2025 Tennessee State Legislative Session. All right, so with the blood level testing bill, it is on the docket. Woo, we made the finish line. Ooh, barely, literally the day that it was due. Hallelujah. So there were some amendments that were made from the previous bill that was introduced last year. I did do a request to see what the amendments are. Essentially, there was language that was resolved to hopefully get rid of the fiscal note, which pretty much means that the bill would not go to the state, because the original bill, even in the caption text, said that the State Department will be responsible for the implementation, but to send it to local so that it can mirror the existing lead testing bill that we have for drinking water in schools to remove that fiscal note. Also, there were some additional amendments to the bill that's somewhat escaping me now. I know that was the biggest one. There was another adjustment, I think, around WIC. I think it was a little bit too complicated with that one. But I did request to see what the draft is. It's not currently posted yet. I think that they typically post the actual draft bill when it's ready to go to the floor. They initially said that they think that it will go before committee, and I think it's the health committee by the end of this month, but I can also inquire to see what timeline is. And just hoping that they will actually see the bill, that it will actually make it to the floor. So I hope to keep this body updated. And by the next time that we meet as a LPC, maybe we'll have some additional updates. Maybe it'll pass. Let's keep hope alive. As far as if it does move to the floor, they will be calling for a testimony. I am not testifying. I did not want to testify last year because of the climate and culture of our state and our country. For my safety, I am not going to testify. However, we do have some allies who are practitioners who I think will be able to serve in that capacity. I do know that there is support from the Tennessee chapter of the American Association or Association American. I'm doing it. I'm remixing it. American Association of Pediatrics. There we go. Sorry, I love you guys. That's a big win. I think honestly, to hear from practitioners is gonna be the win. This is not a partisan issue. We just want children just to be safe. But I just want to reiterate,
You are not going.
I am not going. That was not a good feeling. No, I don't want to do it again. I would love to just be behind the scenes to advocate for our babies. Um, hopefully, so based on what I have heard from Representative Chisholm and Senator Lamar, particularly on the House side, he's confident that he will also be able to get um bipartisan support as well, because with the previous bill for testing in school drinking water, it was bipartisan. So hopefully this will be similar. So again, I'll keep everybody abreast on that. Any questions on the blood level bill before we go to the next thing? Okay, cool beans. All right, so the amendment to the school drinking water bill to lower the level of remediation and add childcare facilities. This one is a little different. So this is actually going to require a rule amendment. Um, it was recommended to go this way, one, because we don't want to draw too much attention to the bill and they kill it and they withdraw it. So it may be an easier solution to just do a rule amendment so that they could be in compliance with the LCRI. Um, Shout out to the Sierra Club Chickasaw chapter that is going to help to coordinate that. I'll be honest, that's not my purview at the state level. I've done that at the federal level. So I'm happy to get that support and advisement from the Sierra Club with that. Um, I'm not sure how quickly that's gonna move. I do know, what year are we in? 2025? Is this a testing year? Oh, yeah, it's a testing year in the fall. Now, hopefully we can move quickly on this. So I'll be sure to keep this body abreast. of what all the logistics associated with this entails. I'm not familiar with the process. I don't know if it has to be opened up like for public comment and all of that. I don't know, since it's on the regulatory, on the rulemaking side. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. But this was not introduced as a bill. Yeah. Any questions about that one? Okay, coolio. All right, next update. I'm actually happy about this update for the first time. Shout out to Carl Ray, who works with the mayor's team, who was able to engage with some of the folks that's been waiting for about 2 years more about the vacancies that we have for the LPC. The logistics are like set up. They've already done the contact. They're updating their application clearly because it's 2 years old. So hopefully we'll get some movement there pretty soon. Also, I still don't know what to do about like the status of the lapsed or the outdated terms. I don't know. I've done my due diligence. If the county wants to maintain these outdated terms, so be it. I got it in writing. Also, Matthew, yours is coming up this year too.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll stay on the record. I don't think that that looks good if everybody on this commission's like term is expired. I don't personally think that that is ethical, but I did my due diligence. I have my receipts that I've asked several times about this. The response is people can just hold their seats until somebody is replaced. I'm like, all right.
So if there's interest in continuing, we just reapply.
Yeah, so yes, you would complete the application, and then the staff would submit it over to the mayor for his consideration. If he does recommend you for reappointment, then he would send it to county commission. Then you would have to go to county commission again for to be confirmed. I also learned, man, all right, so, and I need to get clarity. So on our bylaw, in our bylaws, it states that you're done like after 2 consecutive terms, and then you have to wait a period of time, and then you can reapply. On the county website, it says you could do 2 consecutive terms or 10 years. Oh my God, whichever is longer. So I need to figure out how to escape.
Never alone.
My
I
Lord.
would say the 10 years is longer and you're here for,
Oh man, I've been here since 2019.
got 5 more years.
Mm, so that's that. But my biggest thing is I just from a perception perspective, like I've seen some commissions, some boards and commissions, maybe not necessarily on the county side, but on the city side, and they lapsed, and like somebody got a hold of that and they were dragging the administration for them having those lapsed terms. So I'm really just looking out for our mayor. I care about him, his legacy. But again, if they told me multiple times, like, don't worry about it, just gonna let it be. But excited, and hopefully, at least 2 people can come on board. I am concerned about um the school board seat and the health department seat. I don't know what to do. Um, Also, I'm probably gonna have to go before county commission. I don't know what's up with one of the chiefs. I won't say their name on the record. Where I was advised to ask them about a seated county commissioner serving on this commission. I've reached out to them maybe 4 or 5 times and they won't respond with the commissioner copied, and they literally will not respond. There's interest from Commissioner Brittany Thornton to serve on this commission, and I want to move forward with that because that would be the first time we would have a commissioner that's seated to be on this commission. So what I found is when the administration ignores me, then I just have to go on the record and make public comment, which probably get ugly, but it is what it is. I'm tired of people not respecting this body. So I'll keep y'all updated on that. But yeah, those are my updates for the LPC seats and vacancies. Any questions? All righty. Next update, call for a pollution reduction plan. I don't know. This is just really a interesting time that we are in. I'm trying to remain as positive as possible. I don't know. I don't, I,
Come under sustainability offices, is that coming under John Zena?
yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. I'm kind of just maybe just gonna give them some grace and space right now because of what we are experiencing as a country. I don't think that for this to really come into fruition, it actually doesn't all fall under that team. A lot of it has to come from the health department. The health department is not being collaborative. I don't know what to do. So, I mean, I could go before county commission and see if they can do something about it. They don't necessarily do all that they need to do and fully like utilize all the leverage of power that they have either. So I don't know. Um, but we got to do something because we're going to lose all of our federal protections around protecting our water, protecting our air, protecting soil. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna open it up for discussion. I'm like, I don't know. Things are kind of bleak federally. So I'm like, all we have for hope is local at this point. Um, I don't know what y'all think, but what we need to do. I don't know. Like, should we do some type of community like workshop or something where we draft some type of resolution and ask county commission to pass a resolution? Or I know pollution now is one of the dirty words now that you can't even use anymore, just like environmental justice at the federal level. I don't know. You don't know.
It's taboo to use criminal justice here.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a dirty, dirty word. Can't say climate change. Can't say equity. Can't say advocacy. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's why I want a county commissioner on here so that they can figure it out.
Yeah.
So I'll roll it into that. I'll make a comment and say that's what we need. And I don't know why this person is not responding to me, this chief. All right. Because we're tired. We can't do anything else to figure this out. Let's put it on the elected officials. All right, we can move on. So I got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm also gonna go, I don't care at this point. I'm also gonna go before county commission to talk about this RFP. I am likely going to send a memo to the entire county commission, which they likely may not read. And then I'm going to actually read it on the record at a county commission meeting. I anticipate that ruffling all sorts of feathers, but I do not care. So yep, that's my next step there. Um, I may other people from the community that expresses concern can feel free to come and make comment about this issue as well. All gloves off. Any questions about that with this RFP? All right. The next agenda item, um, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the health department no longer talks to me anymore. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from them again. I asked them again, like, hey, here are our meeting dates. And they said, we'll follow up. And per usual, they didn't. So what I might do is just ask the state if they will just come and do it.
Your style will do it.
Yeah, she's nice and delightful. Yep. So that'll be a next step because I'm not going back and forth with
And
people who are
she's
paid by
giving-
taxpayer dollars.
She's given actual data that is right. She's not saying that there is 91,000 too many children poisoned.
Yep. So that'll be our next step. Whatever. I am gonna stay on the record again that we have not heard back for the request from the Shelby County Health Department to come to this body to present blood lead level data. So my next step is I will just ask the state. What a terrible time Memphis is having where we have to keep going to the state to get things as opposed to who are paid by local taxpayer dollars. That is so disrespectful to the citizens of Shelby County. But I digress. All right, next agenda item. All right, so we got quorum today. Okay, the election of these officers. Okay, this is the second call vote. So from the previous meeting in January, we had the
Sharon made all the nominations.
right, we had chair, was it chair, vice chair, not treasurer. Oh, I'm just playing. Nope, nope, not treasurer. Please, please, no, we have no money, zero money. Vice chair, what is it? Secretary. There we go. Secretary, secretary, and then parliamentarian. So for chair, we still have, I'm like, man, this got to be my last one for chair. I love everybody though. Chair, we had me again, and then we also had Eric for vice chair, and then for secretary, we had Matthew Woods, and then for parliamentarian, we had Sharon Hyde.
Has Eric, have we know where Eric has been? Just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric, yeah, Eric, he's okay. Why don't we just do a slate vote? If somebody can make a motion to approve the officers, for Latrice Adams for chair, vice chair, Eric Stevenson, sorry, secretary Matthew Woods, parliamentarian Sharon Hyde.
Approve as a slate.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion passes, so we now have done our obligated officer vote. Chair Latrice Adams, Vice Chair Eric Stevenson, Secretary Matthew Woods, Parliamentarian Sharon Hyde. Yay. Woo, glad we got that done. All right. The next agenda item, the bill, let me actually look today right quick. The bill that's calling to block the lead and copper rule improvements. Let's actually take a quick gander to see if it's been any movement. I checked last week, excuse me, and it hadn't moved past the introduction, but in this country, things are changing by the minute. So let me make sure that there has not been any additional, nope, there has not been any movement since January the 13th, which is good. So we can still keep things moving with the lead and copper rule, particularly around lead service line replacements. I will say I am extremely concerned about funding and messaging. We cannot let the message be conveyed that there's the cost will be put on the consumer. That is not going to be the case. We're still going to advocate for full service line replacement. People just gotta, our elected officials just got to find the money. If we can pay for these other things that are sometimes a little frivolous, then, we got to make things work. But that's good that it hasn't moved forward. I hope that it stalls and continues to be that way. Any questions before we close old business? All right, cool. Going into new business. All right. Um, this is a follow-up. Chet is not here, to the public comment from I think it was January or December, I apologize, about the guidance to licensed plumbers. So essentially the request was, since the county issues the plumbing license, if they had the authority to enforce plumbers to disclose if they're disturbing a line. So the county doesn't have the authority to do that. We did get both, shout out to the chief for the county that was very responsive and very thorough. We had the support from the county attorney, also evaluated it. So it actually has to go to the state. Um, we don't have the capacity to kind of navigate that. So what I did was I just sent that correspondence from the attorney back to the public commenter, so we can consider that closed. I think that's an interesting point, but from a local perspective, they do not have that authority, so that surpasses what we can do with this body. Um, any questions on that one? Cool. All right. This next item, code violations for blighted property. This is something that I need to follow up on. I'm actually going to reach out to, so before I talk about reaching out to code enforcement, there's a ordinance that city council, I don't know if they've already voted on it, or it's something where they are introducing a new fee for property owners.
Well, there's the
Jerry
International
Green.
Property Maintenance Code, and they
Okay.
had fees on it, but then they said the fees were too steep, so they're not enforcing fees. But the only thing it says on there, I don't think there was fees associated with lead, but it just says lead as a code violation.
Hmm.
So we really need to circle back and see. what's going
Yeah,
on with that.
yeah. But shout out, I need to send a shout out on the record to Jerry for introducing that recently. But I do want to do some more research on that. I'll touch base with Jerry's team to get some more insight about how that works with this new I guess it's the ordinance. I don't know what you call it. And then I also need to touch base with Martikas also, because he's awesome, to get some insight, because we are, man, it's kind of bad what we're seeing in community. Ooh, with these like blighted properties, old it's bad. Like it's lead paint dust just
Everywhere.
everywhere.
And they I mean, they just have no strategic code enforcement where they are out there for tires and then next door they see lead hazards, they should be
Yeah.
able to cite them. They're
Yeah.
just not doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think it's a good opportunity for some collaboration, but we got the proof with being in community is bad. Um, okay, so that'll be some homework for us. Okay, next thing, almost done. All right, so the Environmental Defense Fund released something called the Mayor's Roadmap, paving the way for healthier cities, a step-by-step plan to remove lead pipes and protect residents from lead in drinking water. That was a robust title. So essentially what EDF is doing is trying to create tools for mayors to be able to have successful lead service line pipe removal. Paul was featured as one of the mayors. I was really excited about that, even though I know it has been a journey with lead service lines in Memphis. Memphis is the furthest ahead in the state of Tennessee and in the region. We got to give respect where respect is due. And so essentially what EDF is trying to do, because we are in the Southeast, is to amplify Black mayors who are really like burgeoning ahead, like with lead service line replacement. So I'm really excited about that. We're in a good space with collaboration with MLGW. I think I know I have a meeting with MLGW to get some insight about where they are with the bids. I know they had to do a rebid because it's hard getting people to do this work. So I'm happy to provide updates with that. But yay, go
Yeah.
Paul. Excuse me, Mayor Young. I'm sorry. Mayor Young. I know. Yay. I'm so proud of him. Um, Last thing, homeless safety tax credit act. I don't know why I'm not able to speak clearly today. So this is actually a bill that was reintroduced back in October by Congressman Cohen, where essentially it would incentivize homeowners, including like landlords, property owners, like apartments or what have you. Um, you get a tax credit if you do lead remediation. What I like about this is it's kind of broad. So it's not just specific to like lead service lines, it also can include indoor plumbing. That's a big deal. So we're in support of this bill. President McGowan is also a supporter of this bill as well. In my personal capacity, what I've been trying to do is to circulate the Dear Colleague letter to get other people to co-sponsor, in Congress. So we'll see. I mean, I really wanted to get like some more momentum. Um, yeah, I mean, that's good. I'm glad it came out of Shelby County. We'll see.
So, Tennessee, Housing Conference, has a day on the Hill about housing matters, and the Legislative Committee for Affordable Housing Coalition looks for bills for them to sponsor that has to do with
Oh.
housing affordability.
Mhm.
If you'll send me that information, I'll send it up to them.
Okay, yeah.
See if they would put that as on the Day of the Hill, something that they're supporting.
Okay, will do. All right. Yeah, that's the last item under new business. We can go to the next item. Are there any announcements? All right. All right, so we can move to adjourn. So I call this Shelby County Lead Prevention and Sustainability Commission to adjourn at 7:04 PM. That was record time.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, y'all.
We started late.
I know, it was really efficient. Oh,
Thank y'all.
thank you.
We are headed to Carterville.
Wait, let me.
So, I need to talk to you and get any updates.